Sound check, sound check. Thank you, viewers, for your time. Uh, Having consecutively watched my YouTube channel, and today we are going to uh, handle problem here on how to test and repair a fault on a digital multimeter. So you'll find that first, this is a multimeter. It is a device that performs multiple operations. It helps in knowing the voltage that is passed across the circuit or that is supplied in the circuit, and also the current that does flow in the circuit. It also helps us to know the resistance that is in the circuit, and also at the same time it also helps us to know whether there is that continuity. Continuity means sequence in flow without any interruption. So these are certain functions that are carried on the electronic components, electronic devices, and also electrical appliances. So you find that this is a very key device that is most relied on in this field. So therefore, when it has a fault, then it's like an engine, a very sensitive engine that has stopped its operation and that has malfunctioned everything. Like now, you may not be in a position to know the required voltage, the required current, at the same time to know the resistance in a circuit. So, how then do we trace or do we test a fault in this device? So, step number one that we do is first troubleshooting. Then, how do you troubleshoot? Troubleshoot is now to check a battery. A battery is always mounted or fit at this terminal, where we have both the positive terminal and the negative terminal. So after you've inserted a battery, then try to power on the digital multimeter. How do you power on the digital multimeter? It has a switch. This is a switch, and it is on the off position. So when you turn it on, there is a sound, or there's not really a sound before, but there are certain discrete figures here that will be displayed on the screen. So when it does, then it shows that the device is healthy. But when it don't show, or when the figures are not displayed, then automatically we'll be having a weak signal, or it will indicate that the battery that is being used here is most probably dead, or the voltage is less that cannot run the component, or that cannot supply the circuit with the necessary voltage that is needed. So we will simply now do what? We will simply replace the battery and will now be good to go. So another step will be taking now a continuity test to help us know whether it is electrically connected or if there is that continuation. So a continuity test is done when now we have a battery on a separate board or separately from this component. And then we now test the terminals by taking other two terminals from the battery, that's from the positive terminal and the negative terminal, and then we do what? We connect with this other terminal to know whether there is that sequence flow or not. If there isn't that sequence flow or that, then we will automatically know that there is a fault somewhere. There must be a certain point that has created an open circuit that do not allow at all any flow of current across it. Then step number 3 is to make sure there's no current now running across this device, no current at all, to help us know, and also to help us now test, because if there is a current that still runs across the component, and then when we are testing, we will not get the accurate problem that actually we want to identify. So we should disarm any current that does what? Flow through this device here first, and then we carry on the test. So the fourth step now, switch on the multimeter. You switch on, switch on, switch on, switch on the multimeter and set the dial to continuity mode. So here on the continuity mode, in this one, we are going to look on the symbol where there is that sound, which means that through that we'll be getting an alarm sound to help us know whether there is that continuity through that alarm signal that is given out by sound or not. So this is how we are going to adjust it right to that point where we have the sound. So here's where we have our sound. And then now we do our continuity test. And then this is the alarm, the speaker that is going to provide us with that sound signal. It's going to send the sound signal to help us know whether there is that continuity, the sequence of flow of power needed to run this particular what? Measuring device. Then the final step is that if the probe are connected either by a continuous circuit or by touching each other directly, then the test current flows through. And if the screen displays a value of 0 or near 0 and the multimeter beeps, this is how it does, the beep flash, then we shall know that at least there is some flow of current. But then if there isn't no detection of current or any signal, then that will actually show us that there is no continuity. And now from that point, we can now start working on the component on this circuit board of the component that I have here, or of the device that I have. So that's how we get to know the fault in this particular uh, measuring device, and then that's how we also do the repair through the test that we've carried out to help us make the device functional. Thank you for having viewed my channel. Kindly like, subscribe, and also share on my YouTube channel, Elvis Randiga.